Hey everybody, Nick Espinosa, your chief security fanatic here. Don't forget to subscribe. And it's Sunday, so we are doing breaches of the week, as always. Oh, and this week in data breaches, absolutely insane. But then again, I say that every week because, quite frankly, every week is. And so, with that, thank you very much to Martin Lang, Heather Boyd, and Robert Schloss for sending me some of this information. It always helps me out. Please keep sending these tips my way. And with that, let's start with an update on RI Bridges. This is the Rhode Island state system, because in a press conference the other day, Governor Dan McGee and Chief Digital Officer Brian Tardif provided an overview of the third-party analysis of this breach. Now, the analysis of the Deloitte-operated system was conducted by CrowdStrike, and they put together the following timeline. In July of last year, a threat actor gained access to RI Bridges through unauthorized use of Deloitte credentials. And then between July through November of last year, this threat actor accessed 28 systems in the RI Bridges environment. Between November 11 and 28 of last year, the actor exfiltrated numerous files in the system, and after November 28th, the actor was no longer present, meaning the actors got what they wanted and then they left. Now, as part of this analysis, CrowdStrike was able to identify that the impacted individuals are 644,401, which includes 107,757 names that were recently uncovered through forensic analysis by, again, CrowdStrike. Some of the recently identifiable individuals were neither RI Bridges customers nor applicants for benefits, but were included in files shared with federal agencies for verification purposes. So, heads up to you. Be on the lookout for this, because I think this is going to be a big one, especially Rhode Islanders. But, here we are. Moving on. Let's talk about Steam, the major gaming platform by Valve. Now, Valve is debunking, or saying that they're debunking, reports that over 89 million Steam accounts were at risk due to a data breach of the SMS text message system that was used for two-factor authentication, or 2FA. Now, while Valve said it would continue its investigation into the matter, the company assured Steam users that the leaked data was not associated with any Steam account information whatsoever. Valve also stated they examined the leak sample and determined that no Steam account information was at risk. They also explained that the leak was from older text messages that included two-factor authentication codes. However, those codes were only valid for 15 minutes at a time and were bound to the phone numbers that actually requested them, and no phone numbers in the leak were associated with Steam account information or personal data, meaning they could not be used in an attempt to breach a Steam system or account. But there's actually more to this too. Twilio, who is a major MFA provider, they do Authy and some other applications, basically they also denied a statement to Bleeping Computer, the publication, that basically they were breached after a threat actor claimed to basically be holding over 89 million Steam user records with one-time access codes. This also, I think, really underscores the need for everybody to understand we shouldn't be using text message authentication anymore. Go get yourself an authenticator app or look at passwordless authentication methodologies. We're moving way beyond text messages and email as a second factor or multi-factor authentication. So heads up to everybody. With that, let's keep going here, because this is an interesting one. Financial Business and Consumer Solutions, or FBCS, another debt collection agency, and in April, FBCS disclosed a data breach that may have impacted 1,955,385 individuals, almost 2 million. And later, they said, oh, no, our bad, it's 4.25 million individuals that were impacted. Now, they discovered unauthorized access in February of 2024, according to articles, so over a year ago, and then basically obviously took steps to secure and launch an investigation. And according to the agency, compromised information may include names, dates of birth, social security numbers, and account information. Now we're starting to see disclosures, and we're coming out huge because telecommunications giant Comcast is now basically notifying approximately 238,000 of their customers that they are essentially caught up in this, because apparently Comcast is using them as their debt collection agency. That is a massive hit, and Comcast is, I think, the largest telecommunications provider now in the United States of home and business internet. So that's a huge hit, not to mention television services and everything else. So we'll see what happens there, but I'll keep you up to date, because I don't think Comcast is going to be the only one, right? With that, let's talk about Oracle, because here we go. Oracle is now privately notifying customers of a breach affecting usernames, passkeys, and encrypted passwords, with the FBI and CrowdStrike investigating the incident. If you recall, they basically were denying this until they weren't. Now, researcher Kevin Beaumont also said that Oracle has only issued verbal breach notifications to cloud customers with no written communication provided. In other words, they're lawyering up right out of the gate. They lack transparency. Oracle is just basically showing all of us how not to run a data breach. You should be transparent with your customers. It's the only way you're going to get through it, is by basically pulling off those band-aids, getting ahead of it, being transparent in an attempt to rebuild and maintain trust that has already been broken or weakened or whatever it is with Oracle. So it's a huge thing. And I'm not a big fan of Oracle to begin with. I'm not a big fan of Larry Ellison, but here we go. If you're going through a data breach, for the love of God, don't follow the Oracle playbook. It will bite you in the end. Moving on, South State Bank, another one from 2024 in February. Basically, unauthorized access was detected in their systems, and we were talking names, account details, and social security numbers were exposed. Most people didn't find out until March again of 2024. It's now just coming to light, I guess, but customers started receiving letters then, and so this came out of nowhere, no warning, no prior indication anything had gone wrong, but that's usually how data breaches work. But the thing is that I'm literally, when I'm doing searches for this stuff, I'm usually setting Google searches and other searches to say, show me the latest stuff in the week. I don't want to do stuff like a year old that I covered forever ago. And I went back and looked at my notes because I have literally years and years and years of notes of data breaches. And here we go. This is it. So I don't know what to tell you, but South State Bank customers, check in. Moving on, let's talk about PDI Health, or Preventive Diagnostics. They reportedly suffered a major data breach that exposed 373,000 individuals, and details of this breach is still coming out, but it's possible that names and other personal identifiables may have been leaked. We don't know much more. PDI Health hopefully will be sending out notifications. So heads up if you use Preventive Diagnostics, aka PDI Health, for all your preventive diagnostic needs. Moving on, let's talk about the retro gaming site EMU Paradise. And when I first read that, I thought it was Emu Paradise, like the giant bird, and maybe, I don't know, emu fans? But nope, retro gaming site. Anywho, news just broke that EMU Paradise recently suffered a data breach in April of 2018. Like, what is it with this week? Okay, anyway, they're exposing about 1.1 million other forum members in 2018, 7 years ago, before the pandemic. It's crazy. The operators of the hacked database search engine Dehashed shared this info recently with Have I Been Pwned? And this is absolutely nuts. Again, I'm searching like the last 6 or 7 days for data breaches, and this is all just coming to light. This has been a really weird week. Not to mention the fact it's been a shorter week. I got like 20 pages in to Google, and most of it is my finally, which I'm about to tell you right now, and that's Coinbase. Oh boy. This is nuts. Now, I recently was on CISO Series, basically like Friday headlines wrap up, like a couple of days ago, talking about this with Richard, the host of the Friday Roundup for CISO Series. And this is absolutely nuts because Coinbase is the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange. And oh Lord, is it open bar at Coinbase this past week. So in the run-up to Coinbase joining the S&P 500 on basically Monday, May 19th, tomorrow as I'm recording this, the company announced it was hit by a data breach and refused to pay a $20 million ransom for the cyber criminals who stole the data. Now, the company is also now facing a fresh SEC investigation that's looking into whether the company misstated its user numbers in past disclosures. The company disclosed on its blog this past Thursday that a data breach could cost Coinbase anywhere from $180 to $400 million to fix the issues and reimburse the customers. It's absolutely nuts. In that same disclosure, they basically said that the cyber criminals basically bribed Coinbase's service agents to steal the user data and then tried to extort the company out of $20 million. Absolutely nuts. Coinbase basically also said that the data breach may only affect, quote, less than 1% of Coinbase monthly transacting users. Now, in the first quarter of 2024, the company reported 8 million monthly transacting users, so less than 1% of that would be 80,000. The company also said in an email that affected customers basically had sent they sent an email to all affected customers that Thursday morning as well. The company said it refused to pay the $20 million ransom. Instead, it's, quote, establishing a $20 million reward fund for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the attackers. And they're asking anybody with information to email Coinbase's security team. Now, Coinbase's chief security officer, Philip Martin, told Fortune's Jeff Robert on Thursday in an interview that all of the compromised customer service agents were working in India and were immediately fired. That's right. This is what happened. They were outsourcing support to a third-party company in India where you, quite frankly, get very inexpensive support, which means your support people are not paid well. And by virtue of that, they got compromised, probably through bribery, to basically let attackers in and do their thing. And so here we are. Coinbase is currently working with industry partners and law enforcement to recover assets while pressing criminal charges against a small group of insiders who allowed this to happen. In other words, there's going to be criminal prosecutions in India. I don't know what that means for here in the United States, where Coinbase is initially based, but obviously the SEC is looking at them, and Lord knows there's going to be more 8K and 10K filings probably from them. But one of the things that Richard said when we were having the discussion on the CISO series podcast, the news headlines the other day, and he said it absolutely perfectly, that Coinbase is essentially the adults in the room when it comes to cryptocurrency, right? There's so many scams, so much junk, so many fake markets for cryptocurrency. There's very little oversight, et cetera, et cetera. But Coinbase has always put themselves out there as well-regulated, well-secured, basically the Chase Bank, if you will, of cryptocurrency, in the sense that it's huge, it's trusted, it's stable, those kinds of things. You might not like Chase Bank, but it's huge, it's trusted, and it's stable, right? Coinbase is essentially that. So this is a massive black eye, not just to Coinbase, but to the entire cryptocurrency industry as well. Not that it was doing itself any favors, all the pump and dump schemes and everything else, but this I think sets them back, because if you're looking at investors that are looking at dipping their toes into cryptocurrency investing, Coinbase is the perfect place to go, given what was ostensibly a sterling reputation compared to pretty much everywhere else. So I think this is going to be a rather evolving situation. We'll see what happens here, but it was a shorter week, and Lord knows I tried to find a whole bunch, but here we are. So that is your breaches of the week. Were you impacted? Let me know. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe, stay online, and please attempt to stay private. Take care.